I'm looking right now at the US dollar index, and I'm noticing something. Investors are starting to forsake the US dollar. This is a trend that's starting. It's been starting quite recently. I noticed that the support for the dollar started to wane back during the last rate hike increase. Typically, with a rate hike increase, you should actually see dollar strength. This last rate hike increase, we've seen dollar weakness. The U.S. dollar index right now stands at 97.64 as of this morning. Uh, Now, I expected I should say, I expect to see a dollar crash, but this is a little bit something that's coming out of left field right now, and I see this dollar weakness, and I see investors throwing over the dollar. I'm wondering if this trend will continue, or if this is just a start of something, or if this is just an anomaly, and what this is actually being caused by. The root cause. I do know that in the future the root cause is going to be oil, but the timing, see, this might not be the big one that I'm expecting, and I don't tend to think that it is um, the one that's caused by oil. That's going to be the big one coming up, the big dollar sell-off that comes by oil. And I'm just not exactly sure what the cause of this is, and if this will continue, or if this will actually lead into the big one that's caused by oil later on. But I do know that the dollar right now is finding a precarious perch. The dollar's been riding awfully high, way higher than it should be, uh, and they've been buying into the dollar when they should be buying into precious metals. To tell you the honest truth. Also, if you take a look at the bond market right now, we've been in a 36-year bull market, and that cannot continue. That's unsustainable. The bond market is completely oversold. So is the stock market. The stock market's in a bubble. The bond market's in a bubble, and the dollar's been in an artificially inflated bubble. The only asset class that has been riding down on crashed down to bottom has been on rock bottom. The miners have of silver and the miners of gold have not been making a good profit. They can almost not continue with their mining operations. They're almost selling the stuff at mining cost. It's the only asset class that actually right now is undervalued. Everything else is completely inflated into bubbles, including real estate. But funny thing is this is the way human psychology works. The way human psychology works is if something is nobody wants it, nobody buys it. In fact, they've even been shaking a lot of people out of the tree. People that been selling their silver into the market and selling their gold into the market because prices are so low, and they're frightened that they're going to go lower, and so they sell. Um, and the thing is you know how human nature works. When something goes up and the price gets really high, everybody wants to jump in on the bandwagon and get some. And that's what's going to happen to gold and silver when they finally take off. This could be something big in the works right now with the U.S. dollar index. I'm keeping a very tight eye on it and watching to see if it goes anywhere. My tendency is to think that this is just a little correction right now, and that she's not gonna the bottom's not gonna drop out of it unless geopolitical events cause the bottom to drop out of it. Uh, Unless uh, say Trump were to get impeached or something, and the Chinese economy were to everything were to happen at once, the Chinese economy's bubbles were to burst and the stock market were to crash and Trump got impeached and everything else, then we might see something begin that was probably going to happen anyway a few more months down the road. We might see it start early, and we might see the crash in the dollar and see it happen. And so we got to keep a close eye on this and keep a close eye on the geopolitical events that are happening in the world that could turn out to be black swans. Right now, we're living in a very precarious world. I've never seen more turmoil in the world. It's worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis, I don't know if any of my audience out there remembers what that was or what I'm talking about with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Maybe I better explain it real quick. Back in the 1960s, uh, Russia was going to put thermonuclear missiles in Cuba, and it's so close to America. America says hell no, and they got basically into a war of a war almost came to nuclear war where America wasn't going to allow it, and Russia was hell bent on putting them there, and it ended when Russia backed off. Um, this is the same situation I notice it's going on right now over in Ukraine with NATO. It's the same sort of a deal. Anyway, but right now the world is just a turmoil, and probably one of the biggest hotspots is, if you haven't been keeping up on the news, one of the biggest hotspots is North Korea. That could turn into a huge war. Not a world war. I don't see North Korea becoming a world war. Even if North Korea were to launch a nuke or something, it wouldn't become a world war. It would be a regional war, but it would be one heck of a hot regional war. With America and North Korea at war, it'd be a new Korean war. It would be horrendous, but not a world war. I don't see it escalating into a world war. The South China Sea is another hot spot. I don't see it escalating into a world war either. It would be more of a regional thing. But the bad one to escalate into World War III would be if the Russians invaded Ukraine and started to push toward Romania and Moldova, and also up toward Poland. If that were to happen, that could be a World War III situation, a very dire situation indeed. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next article. Bye.